is plum time, Algerian style. These are two of the more common plums that you'll find throughout Algiers. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I've been seeing plums everywhere, and there's just like only so much fruit that one man can possibly eat, so I picked up two of them. I picked up one that looks a little bit more like what I'm used to in the US, big dark plum, and also one that looked kind of interesting, one that I haven't really seen so much before, this little green one. It reminds me of a green gauge plum, but my guess is it's not a green gauge plum because we're pretty far from where those are popular in Europe. But I saw these a lot. And some of them were like really, really tiny, some were a little bit bigger, and not so many of these out there, but a few vendors had them, and there were a few others too. But yeah, like I said, I can only eat so many plums, guys. So we're gonna try these two and see what they're like. Let's start with the larger dark plum. It looks a lot like the ones in the US, but I'm not sure if it is. This is definitely one that is grown here. There is a lot of locally grown produce here in Algeria. You can get imported stuff, it does exist, but the majority of fruits available at the market end up being locally grown. They like to keep things in the country here, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because that means that the fruit tends to taste a lot better. So how does this one taste? Is this going to be better than the ones in the US, even though it might be the same variety? Dark red inside. I'm not sure if I have had this one before. I've had ones that looked like this on the outside, but were more of like a greenish color on the inside. This one, blood red in there. The flavor is good. It tastes red. Tastes like maybe a little bit berry-ish or cherry-ish. Maybe more like a cherry than a typical plum. And cherries are related to plums. And some things that are called plums actually taste more like a cherry than a plum, like the beach plum. It is not super sweet, which I kind of like right now. So I've been eating a lot of fruit today. Say it's a 5 out of 10, around the same sweetness as an apple. Tartness has some, but not a lot. 2 out of 10 in tartness. It's good. The main thing about it that's nice is that it has a strong flavor to it. Tastes like a typical plum, like you'd expect, but with a little bit of a cherry note to it, which is nice. I love cherries. I love cherries. I like cherries a lot more than plums. So yeah, that's the sort of thing that I like. Next, let's try this one right here, this little green one. Ooh, that's interesting. Texture is much softer. In fact, I bought a bunch of these, and a lot of them just like turn into goo while they're in my bag. I think this is one that wouldn't really work so well at a supermarket because it would get knocked around too much. But it does make sense that I was finding this available at like just regular like outdoor markets. Really, really soft. You bite into it, it just feels like I'm biting into applesauce. Huh. The skin on the outside of this is different than the flesh on the inside. The skin is sour, the flesh isn't. So let's review both. First, let's start with like the inner part. Inner flesh is sweet. Is maybe 6 out of 10. It is sweeter than this guy here, for sure. It's also a little appley. It's got a little touch of an apple taste, and a little touch of like an apricot kind of taste. But mostly tastes like a plum. So next, let's try the skin on the outside. Yeah, really sour. I'd say like a 8 out of 10. It's like way up there. I don't think I've ever had a plum like that. That was like sweet on the inside, but like sour on the outside. That's unique. That's definitely a unique one, just for that alone. But it's good. It's good. I think the skin on its own is not super appealing, but when you have that with the flesh on the inside together, they work well. Adds a little bit of a pop to the flavor on the inside, which is a little bit mild, a little bit appley and whatever, but you add that skin and you get like a little punch of lemon in there too. That's actually really good. Although it looks a little bit like a green gauge to me, doesn't taste like it. This is a very unique little plum. This one's good too. I mean, it's a nice plum. This is a little bit more like something I've had before. This is new. So I think that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all next time.
I would like to give a big shout out to Smarter Every Day, Loftyrex, and JMac. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. Patreon, I'm sure you've heard about it, but basically it is how I can afford to go on all the adventures that I go on this channel and how I buy all the fruit that I buy. So if you are interested in supporting the channel, check out the link in the description below. Another way to help out is by going to my website. My website has all my videos organized into categories, which is pretty cool, and I also have t-shirts for sale over there. So check it out, and I will see you all next time.